You're 62 years old. You've got $180,000 saved. And the question sitting in the back of your head right now is that enough to retire this year? You've heard the number, $500,000. Maybe from a financial magazine, maybe from a calculator online, maybe from a coworker who retired last year. You don't have it. And that feels like an answer. It isn't. Here's something worth knowing before we go any further. According to the 2025 Retirement Confidence Survey from the Employee Benefit Research Institute, the EBRI, the median actual retirement age in America is 62. Not 65, not 67, 62. Half the country retires right where you are standing. So if you've been wondering whether you're behind, you're not. You're in the middle of the pack. This video is not here to tell you everything is fine. It's here to run the actual numbers, what $180,000 produces, how Social Security fits into that picture, and what the monthly math really looks like. I'm not managing your money. I'm reading public records, data from the Social Security Administration, the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the Federal Reserve. Take this as analysis, not advice. Talk to a licensed professional about your specific situation. We're going to build the full income picture on $180,000 at 62, and there is one cost almost nobody factors in at this age, the kind that creates a real monthly gap the income stack hasn't accounted for yet, before you even hit 65. We'll get to that. But first, that $500,000 number, where did it come from? And why does everyone treat it like it's the law? That's what we're looking at next.
You've seen it everywhere. Retirement calculators, magazine headlines, personal finance websites. It shows up so often that it starts to feel like a rule, like a minimum, like a finish line you either cross or you don't. And if you don't cross it, the message seems clear. You're not ready. But here's what that message leaves out. According to the 2025 Retirement Confidence Survey from the EBRI, roughly 3 in 5 retirees in America retire before the age of 65. And nearly 70% of those early retirees say the timing wasn't fully their choice. Health problems, a layoff, a family situation that changed everything. This isn't a small number of people making unusual decisions. This is the majority. So if you're 62 and thinking about this, you're not the exception, you're the pattern. Now, here's a number that almost never makes it into the headlines.
The Federal Reserve's Survey of Consumer Finances shows that the median retirement savings for households between ages 65 and 74 is $200,000. Not $500,000, $200,000. Let that sit for a second. Half of households in the 65 to 74 age range have less than $200,000 saved. $500,000 isn't the median, it's well above it. So where did that $500,000 benchmark actually come from? There's a specific calculation behind it, and once you understand what it assumes, the whole number looks different. We'll break that down next. And there's one more thing coming, a specific Social Security decision that every person at 62 has to face, a decision that permanently changes your monthly check for the rest of your life. I'll walk through exactly how it works. But first, where that number came from. It starts with a financial planner named William Bengen. The year was 1994. Bengen published research on how long retirement portfolios last under different withdrawal strategies. His conclusion: if you withdraw 4% of your portfolio in year 1 and adjust for inflation each year after, your money historically held up over a 30-year period in his back-tested model. That's it. That's the 4% rule. Now, if you need $20,000 a year from your portfolio and you're withdrawing at 4%, you need $500,000 saved. That's where the number comes from. $500,000 divided by 4% equals $20,000 a year, about $1,667 a month from your portfolio alone. That math isn't wrong, but notice what it doesn't include. It doesn't include Social Security. It doesn't include a part-time income. It doesn't include a spouse's benefits. It assumes your portfolio is doing all the work by itself. However, The formula has also been revisited since 1994. In 2024, Morningstar published an updated analysis of safe withdrawal rates. Their 2024 research put the starting withdrawal rate at 3.7%. Not 4%, 3.7. At 3.7%, $180,000 produces about $6,660 a year. That's roughly $555 a month from your portfolio. This is a hypothetical illustration. Your actual results depend on your specific investments, fees, and sequence of returns. $555 a month on its own doesn't cover much. That's true. But this is portfolio income only. It's not the full picture. The Bureau of Labor Statistics, BLS, Consumer Expenditure Survey shows households with a reference person age 65 and older spend an average of about $61,400 per year. That's roughly $5,100 a month. The $500,000 rule was built to replace a specific income level. Most people's actual spending is lower, especially once a mortgage is paid off, kids are grown, and commuting costs disappear. The $500,000 number is a math output. It is not a law. It depends entirely on what you spend, and it was calculated before Social Security enters the equation. The Social Security Administration, SSA, conducted research using data from the Health and Retirement Study. They found the median income replacement ratio in the first year of retirement is approximately 73% of pre-retirement income. Not 80, not 100, 73. And that ratio tends to fall further over time, because spending naturally decreases as people age. Therefore, the question was never really, do you have $500,000? The question is, does your income from all sources cover what you actually spend? That's the context. Now let's run the actual math on $180,000. Most retirement calculators ask one question: how much do you have saved? Then they compare it to a target, 500,000, 1 million, whatever the benchmark is that week. That's the wrong starting point. The more complete question is, what does monthly income actually look like from every source, and does it cover what gets spent each month? So let's build that picture layer by layer. Layer 1. Social Security. Claiming Social Security retirement benefits becomes an option at age 62. That's the earliest eligible age, according to the SSA. For anyone born in 1960 or later, full retirement age is 67. Claiming at 62 means claiming 5 years early, and that comes with a permanent reduction. According to the SSA's own benefit reduction table, claiming at 62 with a full retirement age of 67 reduces the monthly benefit by approximately 30%, permanently, for the rest of your life. The average retired worker in 2026 receives about $2,071 per month, according to the SSA's 2026 COLA fact sheet. Apply a 30% reduction, and that figure falls to roughly $1,450 per month. This is a hypothetical illustration. The actual benefit depends on a personal earnings record, not the national average. SSA.gov has a My Social Security tool, where anyone can look up their own projected benefit at 62, 67, and 70. That personal estimate is far more relevant to a real plan than any national average. But for the purpose of understanding the math, we'll work with $1,450 per month from Social Security. Layer 2. The portfolio. $180,000. Using Morningstar's 2024 rate of 3.7%, that's roughly $555 per month from savings. This is a hypothetical illustration. Actual returns, fees, and timing will vary. Add those two together. $1,450 from Social Security, plus $555 from the portfolio. That's roughly $2,000 per month in total income, before taxes, before healthcare, before anything else. Now, compare that to the spending baseline. The BLS Consumer Expenditure Survey for 2024 shows households age 65 and older spend an average of about $5,100 per month. $2,000 coming in, $5,100 going out. That gap is real. Don't brush past it. But that $5,100 average includes every type of household in the country. High-cost cities, households still carrying mortgages, people with significant healthcare costs.
If the mortgage is paid off, if there's been a downsize, if it's a lower cost area, if a spouse also has a Social Security benefit coming, the gap narrows. For some households, it closes.
Looking at this as an income equation, rather than a savings balance check, tends to give a more complete picture. That shift changes the whole analysis. The income equation is possible at $180,000. Whether it works depends on three things: actual expenses, a personal Social Security estimate, and, critically, when to claim. And that hidden cost from the start of the video, the one that creates a real monthly gap before Medicare kicks in, we're getting to it right now. Medicare eligibility begins at 65. That's federal law, confirmed by Medicare.gov and the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. Retiring at 62 means Medicare is not yet available. There are up to 3 years to bridge. 3 years of health insurance without an employer plan, without Medicare. This is the cost almost nobody puts into their retirement math at 62. It shows up every month. It can run into the hundreds of dollars per month, depending on health, state, and income level. The options during that gap are documented. Coverage through the ACA Marketplace, the Affordable Care Act exchange, is one path. If retirement income is low enough, subsidized premiums may be available. Continuing coverage from a former employer through COBRA is another option. A spouse's plan, if available, is a third. The exact cost varies. Healthcare.gov has a tool where anyone can enter their zip code and estimated retirement income to see what ACA Marketplace coverage actually costs for their age and location. Pricing that number before committing to a retirement date is the step most people skip. That number belongs in the plan before any decisions are final. Now, the other decision, the one that permanently changes a Social Security benefit. Claim at 62 and receive a 30% smaller monthly check for life, or wait. Here's what waiting actually does. According to the SSA, for every year of delayed claiming past full retirement age of 67, the monthly benefit increases by 8% per year. Claiming can be delayed up to age 70. Waiting the full 3 years from 67 to 70 results in a benefit roughly 24% higher than it would have been at 67. That is a permanent increase, every month for the rest of your life. Here's an approach many people in this situation consider. Retire at 62, don't claim Social Security right away. Instead, draw modestly from the $180,000 portfolio to cover living expenses, while the Social Security benefit continues to grow. At 67, the full benefit kicks in at the higher amount. This is called a bridge strategy. It is not a guarantee. It is not personal advice. Whether it works depends on actual expenses, health, earnings record, and how long the portfolio can sustain the withdrawals during those bridge years. The only way to know if it applies to a specific situation is to model it against real numbers. But it is a real approach, used by people with modest savings, and it is worth understanding before making any decision at 62. Therefore, the question is no longer, do I have enough? It's, have I run all 4 numbers? Here's what those 4 checkpoints look like. None of these checkpoints are personal financial advice. They are starting points based on public data. Every situation is different. A fee-only financial planner can help model the actual numbers. Here's what to look at. Checkpoint 1. The Social Security estimate. SSA.gov has a My Social Security tool. It shows projected benefits at 62, 67, and 70 based on an actual earnings record. Not a national average, not a formula, the personal record. That personal estimate is the most relevant number for building the income stack. Checkpoint 2. Real monthly expenses. Not a replacement rate, not a percentage of pre-retirement income, actual recurring costs. Housing, food, healthcare, transportation, any debt payments still running. Adding those up gives a real monthly target to compare against projected income. The BLS data shows households age 65 and older spend an average of about $5,100 per month. That's a useful reference point. For households with lower costs, a paid-off home, a simpler lifestyle, a lower-cost area, the income gap is likely smaller than the average suggests. Checkpoint 3. Health insurance between 62 and 65. Healthcare.gov has a premium calculator.
Entering a zip code and estimated retirement income gives a real cost estimate for ACA marketplace coverage for a specific age and location. Medicare starts at 65. Retiring at 62 means that gap is real, up to 3 years, and it needs a real dollar amount in the plan. Pricing that before any retirement date is set can significantly change the math. Checkpoint 4. 2 Social Security timing scenarios. Scenario 1. Claim at 62, 30% lower than the full amount, permanently. Scenario 2. Delay to 67. The portfolio covers the bridge years. The full benefit kicks in. And waiting to 70 adds 8% per year for every year past 67. Running both scenarios against actual expenses and portfolio balance with a fee-only planner or a reputable retirement modeling tool tends to reveal which path fits the specific situation. Whether delaying or claiming early works better depends entirely on how those numbers model out for a given set of circumstances. That is the choice. 2 paths, different math. 1 answer that depends entirely on the actual numbers. According to the 2025 EBRI Retirement Confidence Survey, the median retirement age in America is 62. 3 in 5 retirees retire before 65. And the Federal Reserve data shows the median retirement savings for households near that age is $200,000, not $500,000. The math on $180,000 at 62 is not impossible. For many people, with lower expenses, a paid-off home, a spouse's Social Security, or a modest part-time income during the bridge years, the equation closes. Not because the numbers are perfect, because they sat down and ran the math. Most of the time, the barrier isn't the savings balance. It's not having looked at the full picture. If this breakdown was useful, there's more analysis like this on the channel. The Social Security timing decision, claiming at 62 versus waiting, that one deserves its own full breakdown. It's the next video. Because the one decision that permanently shapes the monthly check for life, that one is worth getting right.